Hey everyone, yes, that is correct. I have been able to put down a deposit on a C8 Mid Engine Corvette. My name is Clarence. If this is your first time stopping by the channel, please subscribe. I will give you all the latest and the greatest update information on the C8 Mid Engine Corvette as much as I can possibly get. So definitely join the community. You see in front of me, you have @SeekOnTheSpeed252. You can like me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram, and follow me on YouTube as well. Remember to hit that bell notification, and you're going to want to listen to this video all the way through. So without further ado, let's hop into some CA information and a little bit on the allocation. Once again, my name is Clarence. For all of you, this is your first time stopping by. For all my followers, you all know I like to keep it honest, like to keep it real. I don't sugarcoat things. I'm not Willy Wonka. I like to, be upfront about things, and I like to keep it honest. And yes, I have had opportunity to put down a deposit on a C8 Mid Engine Corvette. And within this video, I'm going to show you the emails and the proof that I have about this down deposit for the C8 Mid Engine Corvette. If you have not subscribed to the channel yet, please do. We all know this is the most anticipated car of 2020, hands down. I don't care what other car is coming out right now. We all know that this is a car that everybody's waiting to see. Everybody wants to know the price. Everybody wants to know the latest and the greatest and all the updates that's coming on the C8 Mid Engine Corvette. So I truly do, and I know I mentioned this to some of my followers in the past, I truly do have someone that is on the marketing team for the C8 Mid Engine Corvette. We have talked about the car just a little bit. We haven't got into details about certain things because obviously he couldn't tell me those things, and I can't obviously tell you something that he didn't tell me. For as all I know, what we talked about, he said that the cars were spectacular. He said we will not be disappointed. He said hands down, this is probably one of the best cars he has seen in person in a long time. So obviously, he may tell me some things that keep me in a loop as far as a human being, but he's also not going to tell me a lot of things because I also have a YouTube channel. And for what we talked about in discussion between the two of us and somebody else, based off this conversation, I do not believe the C7 will continue to be built anymore. We talked about reasons why. Number one, the C7 Corvettes right now are going for great deals on people's lots. And the last thing that Chevrolet wants to do is continue to build something that will pretty much impact their mid-engine Corvette sales. Now, being able to talk with him and being all bubbly and excited about this car on the inside, I'm going to be completely honest. I don't even know if this car can be called a Corvette at this point. I have no idea what this car can be called. Based off the conversation, it didn't sound like he wasn't going to tell me the name of it, and I respect that, but it didn't sound like it was going to be called a Corvette. It's definitely a mid-engine car, that's for sure. We all know that's there, but we do not know what the name of this car is going to be. Another reason why I believe the C7 Corvettes will no longer be built is because they truly said they reached their potential with the front engine car. Like, if you think about it, the ZR1 was one of the predominant, most exciting Corvettes there was that has been built thus far. And I really truly believe, based off the conversation we had, the ZR1 will be a one-year deal. And I personally honestly respect that. I don't see why the ZR1 should go on any further than 2019. There's only so many people that actually want that car. And honestly, everybody's technically waiting on the mid-engine Corvette. For instance, think about this regarding the mid-engine sales and the C7 sales. Right now, truly in all honesty, there are lots of people out there who are not buying C7s because they really truly want the mid-engine or even consider the mid-engine. So there's a lot of C7s out there that's right now that's pretty much are not being sold because people are actually waiting on this car. Now, if there's any dealerships out there that actually really getting rid of these cars, it's because they're really offering good deals on these cars. Hey, you can probably go get a 2014 C7 Corvette now for about, the high 30s, low 30s, honestly. So that was the discussion that him and I had about the C7. Let me tell you one thing he said to his sales teams about the C7. Sell as many C7 Corvettes as you possibly can. We all know the reason why he told his sales team to sell as many Corvettes as they possibly can, because the mid-engine Corvette is going to be one of the best good-looking cars we have seen, probably built by Chevrolet. So he wants to get as many cars off the lot as possible to get as many mid-engine Corvettes in as possible to get as many allocation as he can possible. Genius. So, I asked him what it was like actually seeing this car. He said, Clarence, I sat in this car 8 times. And I can tell you one thing, I was amazed by what this car had to offer. When he said it to me, I went around and asked him, hey, what do you think about the price? And do you think it's going to be $170,000? And he was thinking, and he pretty much said, no. pretty much probably not going to happen. And I asked him why. Like, why do you think this car will not sell for $170,000? He said, Clarence, think about this. This car is the most anticipated car of the year, but at the same time, a lot of people just aren't going to spend $170,000 on an American-made sports car. He also went on and said GM spent 6 decades or more trying to put this car in process, trying to figure out what he want to do with it. Do you really think they're going to price this car out of people's price range so they're not able to afford it? They won't make that money back, and it would be a tragedy for them to do something like that. Think about it. The C7 Corvette was actually supposed to be mid-engine before the market crashed. And then I overheard some people saying, GM is trash. The Chevy products are just trash. You had to borrow money from the government to get bailed out. Heck, a lot of us borrow money from banks just to buy a car. So what's the difference? I can tell you one thing. I definitely clean houses for a living and scrub toilets, but I definitely don't have my Corvette paid off. That for sure. I definitely have a loan on my Corvette, so I'm technically borrowing money too. Once again, please hit that red subscribe button if you already haven't, and please hit that bell button right beside it so you get a notification anytime I release any videos regarding the C8, the C7, any car that's out in the world. I would love to fill you in on that. For any reason, any one of you like to get in contact with me, here's my information down below. There's my P.O. box. You can send me anything. I will definitely put it on the channel. There's my email address, and there's also my website. So back to the story I was having with him, I genuinely asked him, I said, which car did you sit in? I heard, there's plenty of version of this C8 being already finished. Did you sit in the base model? Did you sit in the Grand Sport? Did you sit in the Z06 or did you sit in the Z01? And what he told me was he was not able to actually tell me that. But he also went on and said that if you take a look at the two models that was on the Nürburgring, neither one of those, in my opinion, sounded like a high performance car. I mean, going off sound of a car, whether or not it sounds loud or it sounds doesn't. I mean, they could have had it in eco mode, who knows? But to me, that didn't sound like a Z06 or, a Z01. It sounded like either a Stingray or a Grand Sport, which is nothing wrong with that. But I personally think he said in something that was spectacular. I don't think he said in a base model car because the way he smiled and the way he said, the way he talked about this car, he definitely sounded like he said in something that was more than just a base model. Let me tell you how excited he was about this car. This is a guy who, when you actually talk to him, you can tell you're the most humble person in the world. He's very quiet. You won't even know he's there. And this guy, I'm telling you right now, he has plenty of money. That's without a doubt. And he walks into a room, you wouldn't even know he's there, but he's the most humble guy ever. When he was talking about this car, a lot of you know, I never heard him cuss before in my entire life. And you all know I don't cuss in my channel. I'm not going to do it today. But he said at least 2 to 5 cuss words while we were sitting here talking about the description of this car. He did say this was something we already know, that Chevrolet is not planning to release that top-end version of this car just yet. Now, I can see, and he also stated, that we can probably see the top-end car probably costing around $170,000. Yeah, of course. But we don't see the base model costing that much at all. And for what we saw so far, we truly believe that was the base model. So to finish up some of the conversation that we had, he did say he was not planning to sell any of these cars over MSRP. So remember that. He was not planning to sell any of these cars over MSRP. Remember that towards the end of this video. Now, I know a lot of dealerships that goes out there right now to literally try to push as many C7 Corvettes they can off the lot just to get these allocations. And it makes sense. Like, having a conversation with him and having a conversation with other Chevrolet dealerships around in the country, which I have spoken to many, they're all trying to do the same thing. Push these C7 Corvettes off the lot to prepare for the C8 Mid Engine Corvette. So like I showed before in a previous video, I have technically, but kind of, been invited to the reveal of this car by Chevrolet. It wasn't a guarantee. They said they was going to keep me in mind for it. Even if they do not somehow decide to fly me out for this reveal, I will try to make my best to get out there so I can get this footage and information for you. I don't think I'm going to personally see the car in person before that happens. I'm pretty much going to see it just like everybody else will, which I'm okay with that. I'll be just excited as everyone else is, and I'm looking forward to it as well. So going off a little bit more of the conversation that we had regarding pricing, I couldn't really get into much details about that with him because we run out of time. But based off the conversation, I think the pricing of the C8 Mid Engine Corvette will cost about around as a 2019 C7 Corvette Grand Sport. I mean, let's face it, what are 2 things we really want to know about this car? We want to know the pricing of this car and we want to know exactly what it looks like. And obviously, he wasn't able to take any pictures or anything like that or even get a pricing sheet down because I'm sure Chevrolet knows that, but they didn't tell him that either. Well, he may know, he just didn't tell me that. But anyways, that's the 2 things we really want to know that's going to determine the fact of this car. But let's face it, the price of this car has to be right, like Mike said. The price is right. It has to be right. Because Lamborghini fans will always be Lamborghini fans. Ferrari fans will always be Ferrari fans. And McLaren fans, well, they will always be McLaren fans. And with me, the C7 Corvette is like my truly first sports car. So for me, I'm always trying to go up to the next level, right? So me, the C8 Mid Engine Corvette is my next thing up. Like, yes, I would love to have a McLaren and so many other people, but that's not really in my budget right at the moment. And most people that drive Lamborghinis, Ferraris, and McLaren can't drive anything less than that. So once again, if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, please do. I am going to put up the emails that I received regarding the allocations and deposit, things of that nature, so you can kind of get a good idea of what I was referring to earlier. My personal information will be at the end of this video if you didn't get in the beginning of the video. And once again, I would love to have you part of the community. I will bring you as much CA information I possibly can regarding that car, any other car that I can possibly get. And, you feel free to send me things, put it in the post office box. I will post them on the video for you. I look forward to meeting a lot of you. I will be at VIR on November 30th for my track day. Please come out there where we'll have a great time. But without further ado, let's get into some of these emails before I finish off this video. So here's the email I received regarding the Chevrolet Mid Engine Corvette. And this was sent to me actually yesterday. So yesterday night, pretty much 6:37 p.m. It says, "Hi Clarence, we are starting to take deposits for the Mid Engine. Although Chevrolet hasn't said when they will start to accept orders for these, we are unsure of availability options, costs. We want to start taking deposit for whoever is interested in buying one of these," pretty much. He also goes on to say that these will be sold at MSRP and will require a deposit of $2,000. Let's pause this. To remind you, earlier in the video, I said that the other person that I talked to, which I can't say his name, also said they will not be selling these cars over MSRP. Let me also remind you that these are two separate dealerships. I put this on everything that I love. You guys, I'm not sugarcoating this. I'm not BS this. This is two separate dealerships. So I had two dealerships now tell me that this car will not be sold over MSRP. So now at this point, if this car is $65,000 to $70,000 or maybe $80,000, it will not be sold over MSRP. So I'm starting to believe that these dealerships are getting some indication of when this car could be released, how much this car could be costing me, because now I heard two things from two separate dealerships that are both similar. Okay, back to the email. All cars need to be registered under your personal name. Cannot be registered under a business prior to taking delivery. We cannot sell exporters, brokers, or car dealerships. The deposit can be a wire or check. If you send the following to us, I will have to file with your information and your contact you once the order guide comes out. That way we can spec one out to your liking. Here is what we will need if you want to put a deposit down, pretty much. Here's the second part of this email, which it says, check is made out to the dealership. Send it to the dealership Corvette department. Please provide with a tracking number. When placed with the allocation, the order is marked sold under your name and no changes can be made to it. We will give you a heads up prior to this happening. We will need you to confirm the order and prior to placing it. Thanks, and looking forward to working with you on this. Corvette Sales Specialist, Corvette Department. And I'm going to be honest with you about this. I felt skeptical about it. I wasn't exactly sure. I thought maybe it was a spam email. I was like, there's no way this Chevrolet Corvette is ready to go. Whatever the case may be, whatever they call it. But it really was true. I actually got all the information. I actually called a dealership, and the email was sent to me, but it was also a copy to all the managers that was also in this email. And so I called a dealership and said, hey, is there such and such person working there? And she said, yes. And I said, may I have his email, please? Because I'm trying to get in contact with him, and it keeps going to his voicemail. When she said his email back, it was the same email that was sent to me on file. And I just called direct to the dealership. So at that point, when she repeated the same email address back, it was proof enough to me to let me know this was real. So I went on about and did everything that I needed to do. Once again, I'm super excited about this car. I haven't been excited about much stuff in my life other than, helping others and being involved in the community and things like that. So I'm super excited to see what Chevrolet does with this car, and I'm sure you all as well. But if you want the latest and the greatest information on the C8, please subscribe to the channel, because I'm definitely going to try my best to bring it to you and give you everything that I truly have.